Welcome to the Leaptree webinar on managing commissions for external sales agents. External sales agents are your partners or your contractors who sell your product on your behalf but don't necessarily live within your Salesforce environment. Therefore, they do not have access to manage their transactions by logging into Salesforce. Traditionally, Leaptree Incentivize has worked with your internal sales teams by paying commission out to the users that are associated with those individuals. However, now we offer the ability to be able to pay commission to people who are not using Salesforce. Their data will be held in objects such as the account object or the contact object. And so if we just take a look at our Incentivize product, you'll see within our Incentivize settings, we have the ability to configure objects. So this means that with Incentivize, you can actually define which objects you're using, not only to hold your transactional data, so that would be the deals that are being settled, but also define the objects which holds the details of the people that are being paid as part of your commission plan. So if we look in the Configure Objects tab, we have two options down the left-hand side. First of all, we have the deal objects, otherwise known as your transactions. In this example, we're going to be using the opportunity object as our transactional object, but you can add your own custom objects if you wish to. Beneficiary objects are the objects that we use to define who is receiving credit for each of those transactional records. So by default, our base product is compatible with the user object, and that would be your internal sales team who are logging into Salesforce to manage their opportunity pipeline. However, we have also given you the ability to set up the account object as beneficiaries. So the deals would be tied to an account who would also be paid commission against each specific deal. Now, we can also set it up to be paid against, for instance, the contact if you wished to pay an individual rather than paying commission directly to the account. But in this scenario, we're going to use the account object as the recipient for the commission payments. So once we've configured our account object to be the beneficiary object that we're using within Leaptree, we can go into our manage feature licenses. So there are a number of different types of licenses here. Firstly, the Incentivize license is our base license, which is provided to your internal sales users. So those would be your internal sales team who are managing their transactions within Salesforce. And if we come down to the last set of licenses here, we have the beneficiary licenses. These licenses are specifically for those contractors or partners who do not have access to log into Salesforce. And you can see that in this scenario, we've allocated 100 beneficiary licenses. And we've used 14 of those. So if we click on these beneficiary licenses, we get a list, and these are all the account objects. So you can add feature licenses by using the add button, and then you would select the accounts that you want to add or you want to assign a license to. And then we have beneficiary limited licenses. So the difference between the beneficiary licenses, beneficiary limited are those contractors or partners who do very limited number of deals with you. Whereas there would be a ceiling applied to the number of deals that they would be able to get paid commission on in a yearly basis. Whereas the beneficiary license is the standard and unlimited license for your partners or contractors who you deal with on a more regular basis. The terms of each of those licenses would be agreed at sales stage. So we've got our 14 accounts have already been configured with our beneficiary licenses. So we'll have a look now at how these sit within our comp plan. So you see I've created here a 2024 external contractors or partners commission plan. It runs from the 1st of January right through to the 31st of December, and we're paying out in this plan on a monthly basis. Within this plan, we have one target which specifically pays out commissions based upon the new customers that each of our external contractors bring in. You can see here that I have added these specific accounts to this particular plan. So these are the accounts that are going to be recognized to be paid commission. And if we go into this target, we'll have a look at exactly how we've configured this. So we're using the opportunity object to recognize each of the transactions that are to be paid commission. The commission is to be paid off the amount of the opportunity, and the commission will be due as soon as the opportunity closes. So we're also paying out to the account beneficiary. As I said, you could set this up to pay out to contacts, but in this scenario, we're using the account, and we've created a lookup field on the opportunity that links the opportunity directly to the account who should be receiving credit for this particular transaction. We've also outlined a number of criteria here, such as the opportunity needs to have been in a 1 status, and the opportunity type must be a new customer. And so down at the bottom here, we've added all of our individual accounts or partners / contractors. We're paying them a percentage rate per deal. As you can see here, everybody's on a different rate, and that may be because they all have different contractual terms. They may or may not have the same target impact of $500,000 a year. That again can be customized or changed for each particular account. If you wanted to, you can add staged commission rules, such as only pay 50% of that commission when the opportunity closes and pay the remaining 50% when the opportunity or when the software is installed or when the product is delivered, for example. You can also use attainment tiers to define, to reduce or increase that base commission rate based upon how well they are performing against their overall target. So for instance, if they've met their $500,000, instead of paying them 8% commission, you might want to increase that and you might pay them an extra 10% on top of that. You can also use deal multipliers to increase or decrease the commission paid based upon individual characteristics associated with each transaction. So for example, you might want to pay an extra 2% if the deal is greater than 3 years in length, or you might want to reduce the commission paid if the deal is only of 12 months in duration. For this example, we're going to keep it simple and we're just going to pay out a base rate associated with each of these individual accounts. So at the end of the month, what will happen automatically is the end of period will run. The end of period is what we call the closeout file at the end of the month, and this is basically the file that will stamp and sort of store away how much commission is due that period. It's almost like your ledger. If we go to the end of period closeout, we can see here that we have created one already for month 1, 2024 and month 2, 2024. In month 1, we didn't have any revenue. However, in month 2, we had 98,000. And if we click into our end of period here, you'll be able to see each of the accounts here, the revenue that was brought in by each of them, and the target that is supposed to be that was due for that particular month. So we have a running total of where everybody's sitting with regards to their overall target. And you can see here that we've calculated the amount of commission that's due. And that's just the base, the standard commission rate for each account. If we go to one of our accounts, then we'll also be able to see any of the commissions. If you wanted, you can set up a related list to display the commissions that are payable as part of this particular plan. So you can see here that we're due $3,500 based upon the new customer plan. And that's really just a check and balance so that you can access that data from within the account and you can actually pass that information on to your external partners or your contractors. Okay, and so as a recap, just with regards to Leaptree, everything that you've seen there today is 100% native to Salesforce and it's fully integrated with Sales Cloud. You do have the ability to use custom objects. You're not limited only to the opportunity. And we do find that it can save around 90% of time spent on your processing. Which might previously have been done in Excel sheets. You can also increase the transparency across the organization by putting everything into Salesforce. And as you saw there, what I did, there was no code. It was all drag and drop and just configured the plans within our user interface. Thank you very much.